You guys ready?
Yeah, I'll do it.
I want to see if you can.
No, I can't remember the words. What is it
your
again?
forecast?
Oh, okay.
You still protesting?
Well, you already did it, so I don't got to do it.
So that one counts?
Does that count? You said it. I mean, technically you said it, so.
Pow!
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Bang!
I'll do it in a couple of minutes, maybe. We'll see. I'll think about it. So running backs?
Running backs, baby. Free agent running backs.
Let's go.
Listen, there's a... Oh, there it is. We're not protesting, baby. We're here.
What about the one that we're doing with quarterbacks, though? I'm going to have to do two different...
Fuck it, dude. Who cares? If you want to edit, dude, by all means, do the whole thing.
No, I'd rather you be part of it. Okay. So, yeah, I'm good.
Man.
Well, guys, I'm a little worried about this free agent running back class because if I had one word to describe it, I would call it mid. Very mid. I don't see many of these top-end guys getting any kind of big deals.
Oh, no.
Like, I'm talking one-year deals probably for almost all these guys.
You don't think that, like, Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, you don't think they've changed the game a little bit, though?
Yeah, yes and no, right?
Differences.
Like, they definitely did because if a guy at that level hits the market, I'm in.
Yeah.
However, our free agent class is highlighted by Najee Harris and Aaron Jones kind of guys. Like,
dude, Aaron Jones, I would comp him to, like, Joe Mixon, bro. He's a difference maker on the team, I think.
See, I felt that way for a long time. And I'm a big Aaron Jones guy. Huge fan. One of my favorite running backs to watch over the last 5 or 6 years. But this year with the Vikings, like, obviously they used him sparingly. And it was not the role that most people anticipated for Aaron Jones. Way less usage. But when I did see him get the ball, it still wasn't the Aaron Jones that I'd watched for the few years prior to that. And I just don't really see him ever getting a workload big enough again to be like, oh yeah, you got to start Aaron Jones every week. It's like, he could be a flex player, but it's going to depend on the backfield he ends up in.
I definitely can agree with that. Maybe not look out for him in fantasy terms, but I think for a team that could, like Austin Eckler.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely an NFL-capable back that can help an offense, so I agree with that.
Yeah.
But you were talking some crap just a minute ago about Najee, though, which I personally take issue with. I've heard you say some stuff about him before, too.
He's like a Josh Jacobs, bro.
Whoa, he's not close to Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs has led the league in rushing yards before.
Yeah, with what, like 6,000 attempts? Like, I'm not worried about that.
Josh Jacobs was your RB4 in fantasy this year, if you're wondering.
I wasn't worried. He got, like I said, he probably got more attempts than Saquon.
All right.
I'm going to look it up. Yeah. I'm going to look it up.
We're going to have to pull it up.
This guy's a good attitude player, though. And I think Mike Tomlin's going to... Yes, I think Mike Tomlin's going to want to keep him around. I feel like he's going to be back on the Steelers.
You think Pittsburgh's going to pay him?
I mean, I think Najee's smart enough to realize that he's probably maxed out at $10 million. I think he's
maxed at like 7.
Okay, well,
like I think that for almost any free agent running back, just because of the strength of this draft class, I think these guys are going to have to wait, like, to sign. They're going to have to wait. I think a lot of teams are going to say, listen, we have 3 picks on day 2. We don't know what we're doing yet. We need a running back, but we're not going to go ahead and give you money and then take ourselves out of the race of drafting somebody we really like. So
Barkley had 40 more carries.
Makes sense. And he played one less game probably, right?
Yeah. But he's still, the carries are what matters. I mean, Saquon did have 2,000 yards. Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, obviously
not
Saquon is way better than Josh Jacobs. Like I'm not going to argue there.
Yeah.
But I think that there's another, the difference in Saquon and Jacobs to me is about the same as Jacobs to Najee. Like, that level of difference.
What about Dobbins, though? Poor Dobbins.
Yeah.
Man can't catch a break. He was on his way.
Dude, he did.
Now it looks like he's not even probably going to play next year.
I mean, I think he'll sign somewhere. I could even see him coming back to the Chargers on a real cheap deal. Especially because it seems like Greg Roman just loves him. Yeah. And he loves playing for Greg Roman, and I think the style fits in well, the scheme and everything. It's clear we've seen J.K. Dobbins, when he's healthy, plays really well in that scheme. But I don't expect the Chargers to pay him a lot of money and not draft another running back. I think they are one of the prime candidates to take a running back in the second round and have one of the earliest running backs drafted. But
dude, for real though, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think every single team, any team, could take a running back.
100%. I think there's 100%. I think 22 teams will take a running back in the first 4 rounds probably this season. Like fantasy is going to be really difficult to figure out and how to maneuver which backs you like and don't like based on their situations and stuff, because everybody's talent over situation, but sometimes Sean Tucker is a guy who I think is supremely talented.
Yeah.
The situation is terrible there. Yeah. Like it's just, you're wasting years of his career behind Rachaad White and Bucky Irving, who are probably better players, because that's just the reality of it for him. But
dude, it sucks when you're watching this guy play and you're like, I love that guy.
Yeah.
And he's going to be drafted to the Eagles. You're like, oh man.
Yeah, like Will Shipley, I like him, but not a chance he's starting anytime soon.
Right? Yeah. I mean, he's got no shot of even stepping on the field on Sunday.
Unless it's a blowout.
Yep, absolutely.
So Nate's recommendation for all these running backs that we're looking at is to trade them right now.
It's tough.
You could say trade them right now if you want to play the conservative approach, but if you believe in your guys, like you guys know, I like J.K. Dobbins. Like I traded for him. I traded before he even signed with the Chargers. Right. So I believed in him. If you believe in these guys, good time to get them cheap.
I definitely agree with that. I think it's a good time to get them cheap. And if I have one of them, like if I'm sitting on J.K. Dobbins right now, right? Like I feel like the most I'm going to get is like a late second or something. Which, if you want to re-roll for one of these running backs, that'll probably be a 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
I am okay with that. I do think that's a fair value. But with pending free agents, I like having free agents if I'm confident that there is potential for value spike. So if J.K. Dobbins re-signs with the Chargers on a 3-year deal or something, all of a sudden he's not worth a late second. He's worth the 201, a really late first or something. Because now he has that money and that financial situation to back up the fact that I no longer think that they might spend high draft capital on a running back.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the risk. Like if I have J.K. Dobbins and I could get a late second for him right now, then suppose he never, like you said, some of these guys are not going to be signed by like September.
Correct.
So basically, he's going to be completely worthless at that point.
Yeah,
you're not going to be able to get
that is definitely
for him.
The risk you take for holding any of these guys. Like so, another guy on the list we can talk about, Nick Chubb. He's realistically Cleveland's not going to bring him back, right? Like they're probably moving on. He probably wants to play for a team that has a chance to win football games. But what winning football team is going to pay Nick Chubb, and be like, oh yeah, you're part of our offense. Like, you are 100%. You have a role, and it's going to be tough. I mean, I think he's going to sign somewhere as a change of pace backup. Probably is your best case scenario for somebody.
I would imagine somebody like him would know that, there's what the teams are thinking.
Yeah, for sure.
Him, so he's probably going to take a 1-year deal for $5 million or something like that, so that they don't have to spend a shit ton of money on him, and he can prove that he can still play or whatever. But it's all a risk game. It's all a risk game with a lot of these running backs. I mean, if they get signed by somebody, then good for you. But that's why I think it's all just. I say it all the time that you just got to believe in your guys. Like if you believe in them, go for them.
Yeah, I mean, if you still believe in them, or if you for some reason have newfound belief in one of these guys.
Yeah.
Like another guy on the list is Rico Dowdle. So, he put together a decent season for fantasy purposes, but it was, like you said about Josh Jacobs, I mean, it was just down the back half, it was the volume. There was nobody else there. Dak went down. CD was banged up. They really didn't have any other options. And I don't think he looked average.
Yeah.
He looked like an average running back. So, I do think he's going to get a deal somewhere. But I don't think he's going to.
I would see an Alexander Madison type deal.
Exactly. I think something like that. I could see 2 years for $12 million, $13 million, somewhere in that range to come in, and he's just part of the backfield. So basically, you're probably right. You probably should play it safe on these guys. But if you do have conviction, you can get them cheap right now.
Dude, everybody loves gambling.
Oh yeah.
So let's go for it. Get your guys.
But it's like. The shiny new toy, though, I draft Devin Neal, with the 209 that I got for Rico Dowdle, and now it's
trash.
Maybe. We just won't know,
Sean
right?
Tucker, trash.
What I can tell you is I think any running back drafted in the second round of like a rookie draft, I think all of them will come in and have more value than almost every guy on this list.
Oh yeah, definitely. It could be. What's the thing from Family Guy? Instead of a boat, like
Oh
you get
yeah,
a mystery box.
Oh, yeah.
It could even be a boat.
It could even be a boat. I mean, there's always. I feel like every time these guys are worth more than what, like rookies coming in are worth more than what they should be. So
Yeah, always.
I just, like I said before, I'm just worried that these guys aren't going to sign anywhere. I'm not trading Najee cheap because I'm a Steelers fan. I'm holding out hope that they sign him. That's my guy from this list.
I would say for him, and there's a couple other guys that I thought they might sign him back. Maybe like Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, Javonte Williams is a name we haven't talked about on the list as well.
Yeah, like some of those guys, I feel like you might want to hold off until maybe closer to the draft. Like maybe after free agency's a little less hot. Like
Right.
I would say after that, then because if they don't sign him, or sorry, not free agency, but I meant maybe this like
draft.
No, before the draft,
Oh,
because you don't want to sign
Combine
them.
season,
Yeah, like whenever they're doing a lot of these re-signings, I would say.
Is there
after
any
that.
guys from this list that you would trade right now?
Javonte.
Yeah.
I would trade Javonte. I would trade Aaron Jones. Who else was on this list?
Probably Najee. You would trade him, right?
I wouldn't trade him. I think he's going to stay.
I think there's a shot he stays. I don't like the history of Pittsburgh paying guys like in his tier, where I don't think they're like a very special player.
Yeah.
But I do think that best case scenario for every single player on that list is re-signing with their current situation.
Yeah.
Like I think that is for fantasy purposes, like value wise, that is your best case scenario with all these guys. Is they just stay in the same system and we know what it is.
Yeah.
You know, we have a better chance of knowing what their backfield looks like.
Yeah.
Already.
I would hold on to probably like the only two I would probably hold on to is like JK and probably Najee. Because Aaron Jones, he's probably doesn't even have much time. Same with Nick Chubb, Rico Dowdle. I don't really trust he's going to be a main guy, so get rid of him. And Javonte, as much as I like him, I don't think he's going to be a main guy anywhere, which sucks because I love watching him. He's just running so hard.
Yeah.
But I'll say this though, if any one of these guys signs, gets a good deal with anybody, I'm trading them after that. Because we don't know who's going to take Genty, though. I feel like we don't know.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I don't think we do. I mean, the most popular landing spot in mock drafts is Dallas, right, at 12. Because they're the first team that has a giant hole at running back. You know, they had Rico Dowdle. They already had a giant hole at running back with having Rico Dowdle, and now they don't even have Dowdle under contract. So it's
Deuce Vaughn.
I don't know if I'm
exactly.
if I'm running if I'm looking at this draft class though, I'm not really thinking I need to take Genty because I have a hole at running back.
Correct.
Because I could go and get a starting running back in the second or third.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That would be my interpretation of everything.
Yep.
But
Well, you know Dallas isn't making a lot of good decisions these days.
Yeah, I mean, we would have said the same thing about Atlanta and Detroit taking running backs in the top 10. It's like, okay, well, you probably don't need to spend that high draft capital. But when the players hit at the level that Bijan and Gibbs have, they're clear difference makers on the field. So it is tough to say, but I do agree. I don't think that is the smartest thing for Dallas to do. But I definitely think it's a possibility. I think that's it.
Is that?
I'm not putting a picture in on that. I'm cutting it off right at the end.
You probably should cut it off before that. Like whenever, probably a good time would be to stop it is whenever you're talking, whenever you're just starting to say something. Like you might say something for maybe like 10 seconds. Just we don't need to hear that.